Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Kelsey with Tech Ops Training. Today I'm up here in JFK, and the guys up here in JFK, we got Mr. Adam Griffiths here.
Hey, what's happening? And
he's got a really good method to troubleshooting oxygen. As you know, oxygen's been hot and heavy on our ODI list and our pain index, if you will. So he's got some things to show us about some of the best practices they found with checking for oxygen bottle leaks. You were telling me a little bit about a fast leak, slow leak situation.
Well, you have hard lines and rubber lines, rubber components. Hard lines usually leak instantly. When you do your little test, it will bleed down. From the second you close the bottle, it will start to bleed down right away. And those are going to be either loose fittings or a hole in the line or something. They're easy to find. Sometimes with a rubber line or a box that has rubber components in it, they make bubbles inside and they trap that leak for 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then that little leak will bypass through the layers in the hose, and then it will dump it all after 20 or 30 minutes without losing any pressure previously. Those are obviously much harder to find, and it may take several tries of this to get that one right. But if it's leaking continuously, you're going to find it eventually. It just takes longer sometimes than others.
All right. Yeah, go.
All right, so the first step is always leak check the bottle, just in case the guy before you didn't tighten it too well. Sometimes they leak from the cap. You can usually hear them if they're leaking from somewhere local. If the bottle check's good, you're going to do that leak check block off with the hard line coming right off the regulator. That should have zero leakage because there's not a whole lot there to leak. If it leaks, your regulator's bad. It's that simple.
Perfect. All right, thanks, Adam. All right, so as Adam said, one of the first things we want to do is do a leak check of the regulator and of the fitting here at the bottle. So, Alex, do you care to show us where you're working at here, bud?
So pretty much you got your two fittings here.
Oh, let me get in there a little closer. All right.
You got your small one down here that goes upstairs to the cockpit. Then you got your top one in here that goes to your regulator. So you got to make sure you check both.
Okay.
And you got no bubbles or anything, because if you got that, that's the last thing that was touched. So it's probably the first thing that's going to leak.
All right, the bottle's got plenty of pressure in it.
Yep.
And we just want to do the trap pressure check. And that just involves turning the knob one way to crack it open.
Turn left, you hear it pressurize.
Yep.
You give it like 2 or 3 seconds.
And then bring it back closed.
Close it right back up.
All right, and that'll save you an entire oxygen bottle too.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Alex. I appreciate what y'all are doing out here for the 767 fleet.
Thank you.
All right, we're back up here with Adam, and he's going to show us the first step in checking for oxygen leaks.
The first thing we've done is open the bottle, pressurize the manifold, and then close the bottle. That traps a small amount of oxygen in the manifolds that you can see if it's leaking, because you can never tell in a timely manner if a full bottle is leaking.
Very good. So we're just putting enough in there. And it's so little, in fact, if you hit the test button once, it'll deplete.
We're at 1650, and I'm going to hit this button.
Wow, that's all of it right there.
One puff took the entire manifold. So
that's definitely the best way to see a reaction or to see a leak, is have that trap pressure in there.
Yeah, because you can find even small leaks without any big problem.
Cool. Tell us about these caps and fittings here, Adam.
They are MS-5 fittings, plugs and caps. All the lines in the oxygen system are -5s. You're going to need a couple of plugs, a couple of caps, and it makes your life easier. Instead of, you can get to more lines in one shot if you have more than one.
Okay. Make sure they're clean too, because we're dealing with oxygen and we want to make sure we don't introduce any contaminants into the system. All right, for this next step, Mr. Adam, we've isolated half of the half of the oxygen masks in the airplane, or actually just what?
The right side oxygen mask from the left side oxygen mask.
Right, so we've isolated this side from that side, left from right. And that's done back here behind the P61 panel. I'm gonna let Mr. Adam point out where we're at here. There we go.
From this T-fitting, this obviously goes to the P61 mask. This hard line on the top goes over to the left side, which feeds the second observers and the captain's oxygen mask. The hard line coming up from the bottom has a T-fitting way back here. You can't see, but you don't need to actually get to it. You possibly just have to put some bubble check on it at best. But that line going down tees off and goes to the first officer's mask. So right now, with the other two cap, we're leak checking the first officer's mask only.
All right. So, and what's going to be the process with this, Adam?
We're going to open the bottle, close the bottle. It will trap our system pressure, and you give it a 15 to 20 minute count. If the pressure does not go down by more than 10 psi, you don't have any leaks whatsoever.
Perfect. 20 minutes, 10 psi. Got it. All right, we're going to go down and charge that bottle and see what happens. So we got those lines tightened up. We've gone down and we've turned the bottle on, and we've turned the bottle right back off. Now we've charged our system, and we have it, oh, that's on, there we go. We've charged our system and we got it on 1650 right here. And Adam, what do we do next?
Now you just sit and wait. You got 10-15 minutes, and if it doesn't drop anywhere between 10 and 20 psi, because you're not sure where it actually started, being a 10-digit oxygen meter, you can give it 20 psi. You saw how tiny of a volume 1500 is, so 20 psi with that volume would be a small bubble. So
right.
It's a very sensitive with the bottle closed off.
With the trap pressure checking. That's awesome.
If this works out,
okay, this mask up here on the right side.
If this mask is good, then you're gonna go down, hook up one of the other two lines, keeping one cap, right. And obviously the line you just hooked up is the new system you'll be checking now. If you hook up the top line, you're checking the captain's and the second observer's mask. If you hook the flex line up, you're now checking the flex line into the P61 panel.
So honestly, if we just do the one line there on the top, that'll split the flight deck in half for testing purposes.
Yes.
Okay. And it'll do right side, left side,
Mm-hmm.
or do right side. And if right side's good, then we do the left side. Then we're golden.
It's
all right.
just trial and error, and all you're doing is waiting to see how fast the pressure drops.
Doing a 20-minute bleed down.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, Adam. So we're going to go ahead and bleed it off now again, show you how that works. And oh, that one's not hooked up. There you go. One push of the test button and it drains everything out of the line. That's super responsive there. All right, now that we've drained everything back out of the line or emptied the system again, we're going to swap over and check the left side, right, Adam?
Yes.
All right, show us how we're going to do that. I'm going here with the camera first.
You're going to undo the top B-nut you just put on and reattach the line.
Adam, you have pretty hands, by the way.
I'm a hand model in my spare time.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
You know, everyone up here in New York runs a scam, don't they?
How we can afford to live here. So now, with the top line re-hooked up, we're now checking the hard line over the top, which rarely does leak.
Right.
But we are checking the second observers and the captain's O-tube mask and flex lines now.
All right, and the one that is still capped is coming over here to the P61. It's this first observers here. And you can see that line hanging loose right there with the cap on the T-fitting. All right, yeah, see there's the first observers. Here's the right side. Left. And then the second observers right there. All right, now that we got the right side going and the left and the second observers positions, we're leak checking those. We're again gonna charge that bottle downstairs and watch it for 20 minutes and see if it leaks down at all. 10 to 20 PSI over 20 minutes is a sure sign that we have a leak in one of those compartments. We've already done the right, so we're mainly concentrating on these two over here on the left-hand side.
So when we hooked up our overhead line, we got a pressure drop on the ICA screen. So that tells us something on the left side is leaking, but you got two sets of masks hooked up to it. You got the second observers and the captains. You still don't know which one. So now we have to isolate one of them to find out which one's leaking, and the observer's box is easiest to get to. So that's where we're going to go to next.
So I'm gonna pull this box out like here, right?
Yep.
All right. Yep. Come on in here with the camera. And right here, I got my mic wire, which is pretty tight, and then I have a flex line right here. And so what are we looking for here, Adam?
Well, you have two choices. You can either check it at the flex line,
okay,
but then you still could have a leak in flex line, or you can undo the flex line from the hard line, which is fairly far underneath. It now gets complicated and a lot slower.
Okay, so the best bet is to put a cap on this one right here.
Yes, and that's going to take a -5 plug.
Another -5, and we'll just isolate this box out of the system.
Right.
Okay. Well, that seems basic enough. And there again, you're also recommended this trapped pressure leak check?
Yes, all the time.
All the time. Always a trapped pressure leak check.
It's the only thing that gives you enough volume loss in a timely manner without spending 8 hours looking for a leak.
Right. Well, that makes a ton of sense, man. I appreciate that. Any other tidbits here?
Not really. Everything under here is tight, so be careful. If you're going to take anything off these boxes, use a backup wrench on the fitting that you're going to be unscrewing from, because these boxes are thin tin and they will bend in a heartbeat. So always use a backup wrench whenever you're taking any of these fittings off.
All right. Hey, Adam, I appreciate it. Thanks for y'all's participation in keeping the 767 fleet going up here. Y'all do a heck of a lot up here, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. It's what I live for.